welcome. Today I am reading from The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, a public domain work originally published in 1910. I'll be reading select portions and offering commentary through a Gnostic and consciousness based lens. This is not an audiobook, this is a commentary series. I'm reading this because we are in the area of our consciousness evolution, the evolution of our consciousness to where we can actually wield the God given power to actually get rich. And here is the science behind it. So, this particular recording is chapters 7 and 8, and here we go. Chapter 7 Gratitude. The illustrations given in the last chapter will have conveyed to the reader the fact that the first step toward getting rich is to convey the idea of your wants to the formless substance. This is true, and you will see that in order to do so, it becomes necessary to relate yourself to the formless intelligence in a harmonious way. To secure this harmonious relation is a matter of such primary and vital importance that I shall give some space to its discussion here, and give you instructions which, if you will follow them, will be certain to bring you into perfect unity of mind with God. The whole process of mental adjustment and atonement can be summed up in one word: gratitude. First, you believe that there is one intelligent substance from which all things proceed. Second, you believe that this substance gives you everything you desire. And third, you relate yourself to it by feeling of deep and profound gratitude. Many people who order their lives rightly in all other ways are kept in poverty by their lack of gratitude. Having received one gift from God, they cut the wires which connect them with Him by failing to make acknowledgment. It is easy to understand that the nearer we live to the source of wealth, the more wealth we shall receive. And it is easy to understand that the soul that is always grateful lives in closer in touch with God than the one in which who than the one which never looks to Him in thankful acknowledgment. The more gratefully we fix our minds on the Supreme when good things come to us, the more good things we will receive, and the more rapidly they will come. And the reason simply is that the mental attitude of gratitude draws the mind into closer touch with the source from which the blessings come. If it is a new thought to you that gratitude brings your whole mind into closer harmony with the creative energies of the universe, consider it well, and you will see that it is true. The good things you have already come to you along the line of obedience to certain laws. That's a jumble. I'm going to read it again. If it is a new thought to you that gratitude brings your whole mind into closer harmony with the creative energies of the universe, consider it well, and you will see that it is true. The good things you already have twice. The good things you already have come to you along the lines of obedience to certain laws. There we go. Gratitude will lead your mind out along the ways by which things come, and it will keep you in close harmony with creative thought and prevent you from failing into competitive thought. Gratitude alone can keep you looking toward the all and prevent you from falling into the error of thinking of the supply as limited, and to do that would be fatal to your hopes. There is a law of gratitude, and it is absolutely necessary that you should observe the law, if you are to get the results you seek. The law of gratitude is the natural principle that action and reaction are always equal and in opposite directions. The grateful outreaching of your mind in thankful praise to the Supreme is a liberation or expenditure of force. It cannot fail to reach that to which it is addressed, and the reaction is an instantaneous movement toward you. I want to note that that is italicized. So essentially, the more grateful you are in reaching out in thankful praise to the Supreme or God, it is a freedom, it's a liberation of force. It cannot fail to reach that to which is addressed. So as you thank God, the reaction is instantaneous return towards you. It goes on to say, draw nigh unto God, and he will draw nigh unto you. That is a statement of psychological truth. And if your gratitude is strong and constant, the reaction in formless substance will be strong and continuous. The movement of things you want will always be towards you. Notice the grateful attitude that Jesus took. How he always seems to be saying, I thank thee, Father, that thou hearest me. You cannot exercise much power without gratitude, for it is gratitude that keeps you connected with power. But the value of gratitude does not consist solely in getting you more blessings in the future. Without gratitude, you cannot long keep from dissatisfied thought regarding things as they are. The moment you permit your mind to dwell with dissatisfaction upon things as they are, you begin to lose ground. You fix your attention upon the common, the ordinary, the poor, and the squalid and mean, and your mind takes the form of these things. Then you will transmit these forms or mental images to the formless, and the common, the poor, the squalid, and the mean will come to you. To permit your mind to dwell upon the inferior is to become inferior and to surround yourself with inferior things. On the other hand, fix your attention on the best is to surround yourself with the best and to become the best. The creative power within us makes us into the image of that to which we give our attention. We are thinking substance, and the thinking substance always takes the form of that which it thinks about. The grateful mind is constantly fixed upon the best, therefore it tends to become the best. It takes the form or the character of the best, and will receive the best. Also, faith is born of gratitude. The grateful mind continually expects good things, and the expectation becomes faith. The reaction of gratitude upon one's own mind produces faith, and every outgoing wave of grateful thanksgiving increases faith. He who has no feeling of gratitude cannot long retain a living of faith, and without a living faith you cannot get rich by the creative method, as we shall see in the following chapters. It is necessary, then, to cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you, and to give thanks continuously. And because all things have contributed to your advancement, you should include all things in your gratitude. Do not waste time thinking or talking about the shortcomings or wrong actions of plutocrats or trust magnates. Their organization of the world has made your opportunity. All you get really comes to you because of them. Do not rage against the corrupt politicians. If it were not for politicians, we should fall into anarchy and your opportunity would be greatly lessened. God has worked a long time and very patiently to bring us up to where we are in industry and government, and He is going right on with His work. There is not the least doubt that He will do away with plutocrats, trust magnates, captains of industry, and politicians as soon as they can be spared. But in the meantime, behold, that they are all very good. Remember that they are all helping to arrange the lines of transmission along which your riches will come to you, and will be grateful to them all. This will bring you into harmonious relations with the good in everything, and the good in everything will move toward you. So that's chapter 7, and it primarily just talks about gratitude. And as I was reading this and stumbling over the words, I recognized a couple of things. First of all, I think I'm going to start speaking about the chapter before I read it, and then discuss. Because of the vernacular that the author uses, it is dated. Honestly, it's 1910. So it's interesting just to hear the way the words are put together. And so this one is essentially because everything is energy, everything is this intelligent formless substance. When we make ourselves into being grateful and we give thanks to the Father, thanks to God, thanks to the higher thing that beats our hearts, that places us in the position of gratitude and forms that outline, so to speak, into that of gratitude, and it comes back to us in full measure because this is a realm of this and that. So your thought forms go out and they do not return void. Mm. So let's be thankful right now. Let's be thankful. Some gratitude inside of our bones. All right, chapter 8, Thinking in the Certain Way. Turn back to chapter 6 and read again the story of the man who formed a mental image of his house, and you will get a fair idea of the initial step toward getting rich. You must form a clear, that's where you are. You must form a clear and definite mental picture of what you want. You cannot transmit an idea unless you have it yourself. You must have it before you can give it, and many people fail to impress thinking substance because they have themselves only a vague and misty concept of the things they want to do, to have, or become. It is not enough that you should have a general desire for wealth, to do good with. Well, everyone has that desire. It is not enough that you should have a wish to travel, to see things, live more, etc. Everybody has those desires also. If you were going to send a wireless message to a friend, you would not send the letters of the alphabet in their order and let him construct the message for himself, nor would you take words at random from the dictionary. You would send a coherent sentence, one which meant something. When you try to impress your wants upon substance, remember that it must be done by a coherent statement. Coherent statement. You must know what you want and be definite. You can never get rich or start the creative power into action by sending out unformed longings and vague desires. Go over your desires just as the man I've described went over his house. Just see just what you want and get a clear mental picture of it as you wish it to look when you get it. That clear mental picture you must have continually in mind, as the sailor has in mind the port toward which he is sailing the ship. You must keep your face toward it all the time. You must no more lose sight of it than the steersman loses sight of the compass. It is not necessary to take exercises in concentration, nor to set apart special times for prayer and affirmation, nor go into the silence, nor do occult stunts of any kind. These things are well enough, but all you need to know is what you want, and to want it badly enough so that it will stay in your thoughts. Spend as much of your leisure time as you can in contemplating your picture, but no one needs to take exercises to concentrate his mind on a thing which he really wants. It is the things you do not really care about which require effort to fix your attention upon them. And unless you really want to get rich, so that the desire is strong enough to hold your thoughts directed to the purpose as the magnetic pole holds the needle of the compass, it will hardly be worthwhile for you to try and carry out the instructions given this book. The methods herein set forth are for people whose desire for riches is strong enough to overcome mental laziness and the love of ease and make them work. The more clear and definite you make your picture then, and the more you dwell upon it, bringing out all its delightful details, the stronger your desire will be. And the stronger your desire, the easier it will be to hold your mind fixed upon the picture of what you want. Something more is unnecessary, however, than merely to see the picture clearly. If that is all you do, you are only a dreamer and will have little or no power for accomplishment. Behind your clear vision must be the purpose to realize it, to bring it out in tangible expression. And behind this purpose must be an invincible and unwavering faith that the thing is already yours, that it is at hand, and that you only have to take possession of it. Live in the new house mentally until it takes form around you physically. In the mental realm, enter at once into full enjoyment of the things you want. Whatsoever things ye ask for when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them, said Jesus. See the things you want as if they were actually around you all the time. See yourself as owning and using them. Make use of them in imagination just as you will use them when they are upon your tangible possessions. Dwell upon your mental picture until it is clear and distinct, and then take the mental attitude of ownership toward everything in that picture. Take possession of it in mind, in the full faith that it is actually yours. Hold to this mental ownership. Do not waver for an instant in the faith that it is real. And remember what was said in a preceding chapter about gratitude. Be as thankful for it all the time as you expect to be when it has taken form. The man who can sincerely thank God for the things which he yet has as yet he owned only in imagination has real faith. He will get rich. He will cause the creation of whatsoever he wants. You do not need to pray repeatedly for the things you want. It is not necessary to tell God about it every day. Use not in vain repetitions as the heathen do, said Jesus to his pupils. For your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things before ye ask him. Your part is to intelligently formulate your desire for the things which make for a larger life, and to get those desires arranged into a coherent whole, and then to impress this whole desire upon the formless substance, which has the power and the will to bring you what you want. You do not make this impression by repeating strings of words. You make it by holding the vision with unshakable purpose to attain it, and with steadfast faith that you do attain it. The answer to prayer is not in according to your faith while you are talking, but according to your faith while you are working. You cannot impress the mind of God by having special Sabbath days set apart to tell him what you want and then forgetting him during the rest of the week. You cannot impress him by having special hours to go into your closet and pray. if you then dismiss the matter from your mind until the hour of prayer comes again. Oral prayer is well enough and has its effect, especially upon yourself, in clarifying your vision and strengthening your faith. But it is not your oral petitions which get you what you want. In order to get rich, you do not need a sweet hour of prayer. You need to pray without ceasing. And by prayer, I mean holding steadily to your vision with the purpose to cause its creation into solid form, and the faith that you are doing so. Believe that ye receive them. The whole matter turns on receiving, once you have clearly formed your vision. When you have formed it, it is well to make an oral statement addressing the Supreme in reverent prayer, and from that moment you must, in mind, receive what you ask for. Live in the new house, wear the fine clothes, ride in the automobile, go on the journey, and confidently plan for greater journeys. Think and speak of all the things you have asked for in terms of actual present ownership. Imagine an environment and a financial condition exactly as you want them and live all the time in that imaginary environment and financial condition. Mind, however, that you do not do this as a mere dreamer and castle builder. Hold to the faith that the imaginary is being realized and to the purpose to realize it. Remember that it is faith and purpose in the use of the imagination which make the difference between the scientist and the dreamer. And having learned this fact, it is here that you must learn the proper use of the will. So that's the next chapter, is to learn the proper use of the will. So going back to discuss, I'm going back to the beginning of chapter 8, and it says, talking about gratitude. Once again, going back to gratitude and how this man got a picture of his house. He formed a mental image of his house, and it was detailed. You must have it in detail in your mind before you can actually have it. So that's what it means by thinking in this certain way. The intro of this book kept talking about people who do this in this certain way, in this certain way, in this certain way, they get it. So essentially, you decide what you want and you are grateful. You decide with clarity and conviction what it is. And it's in your imagination. You live as though you have it. That is the certain way. You live in gratitude. You live in this place mentally, in this reality mentally. As a visionary, I get pictures in my mind, and I often, often, often see a hand thumbing through pages of a book, like. But as you're looking at these pages, as they're flipping, you see a figure, like a human, like walking through these pages of this book. And for me, what that signifies, or what that has always signified for me, is the evolution, sure. And kind of think about, oh gosh, there's the name of this picture is escaping me now, but it's basically like the evolving human as they're walking. And yes, that's what it means. But then what it also means is choose the end of the story and just keep your eyes on the end of the story, the thing that you desire, the thing to get rich, the love, the specific person, the healing, whatever end you want. You get it detailed and you go into your imagination. And he kind of hinted at Neville Goddard. He said a couple of words in here. I don't want to dumb through it, but he basically called out, like, you don't even have to do all that. Like, yes, that works for you, but you don't even have to do all that. You just believe that it is yours. You live in that. You live from that. And it has no choice but to become yours. And it sounds so confounding when you think about reality, but it's so true. And that's been my story since my grand awakening in 2025, is this freaking like orientation. And so many times I did not have the faith or the belief that what I was learning, and it's not that I was learning into intellectually, it was intuitively being dropped in. And I was like, this certainly means I'm losing my mind because I can't just believe that it's fun. And then I get it. It almost felt like I was bypassing. And honestly, yeah, initially, I think we have to dive in, and I think we have to bypass a little bit, because what we're doing is not changing like the world around us necessarily. We're changing our identity. And so in order to like choose this over that, we step over that because this is who we are. So it's both and. It's, yes, diving into the blocks, the unworthiness, the things that I could never get rid of. What I can't imagine. I cannot even imagine having $1 million a month. having a 10,000, 20. I cannot imagine a $50,000 month of income. Well, if you can't imagine it, then baby, you're not going to have it. You ain't never going to have it. And I think that's important. Like consider your words, consider your mental diet. You might be inadvertently or unconsciously feeding faith in the wrong direction, thereby circumventing your earnest desire to have riches and to have wealth. So anyway, that is chapters 7 and 8. I'm going to end it here, and I'll meet you back here for chapters 9 and 10 in that new format. I'm going to introduce it, then read it, then debrief it. All right, be blessed and enjoy getting rich. All right, have a good one. Bye.